Let's talk about how to read data sets into RStudio. So you can load any data sets into RStudio. So first you need to create some data sets. So create a data set in a spreadsheet just like Excel or Google Sheets. It must be it must be tidy data. This means that each row belongs to one unit of observation. The columns contain each distinct variables, and all variable names are one word. I suggest that they are all lowercase and describe what the variable is for that data set. If you want a space in the name of the variable, use an underscore instead of a space. Then save the file as a CSV file using the name of the file without spaces in the file name. So as an example, let's say I'm in my Google Drive. I'm going to go ahead and create a Google Sheet. And then I would, in each column, each row would represent one piece of information, one unit of observation. Each column will create a variable. So let's say I'm going to do the height. So I type in height. I might type in gender. I might type in age. Those would be the names of my variables. If I would like to have something like um, the race, I could do race. I'm trying to think of something that would be 2 words. So thinking if I had something like uh Jane's parents, uh, environment, something like that. So maybe Gene environment. I want that to be kind of 2 words. So I put an underscore in, and then I could get my second word. Do be careful. I spelled this wrong. If you spell something wrong, it'll keep that. You have to use that spelled name wrong. So make sure you do spell it right. So my first row is the names of the variables I want to use. And then my second row would represent, in each row after that would represent each individual's values. If you wanted to have a data set in here that was just like the individuals, so you could give their names, you'd insert a column to the left, and then you could say things like individual. Individual. And so you could have like something that says this is the first person, so number 1, and then their height is 66 inches, and then their gender might be female, and so forth. So you can type in, I'm trying to get this to go away, there we go. Type in all your information, and let's say I say this is somebody who's 43, and then the race might be white. And then gene environment might be, I don't know what that would be. I'm just trying to make something up. So let's get rid of that. I don't know what that would be. And then I do the next one. I'd come down here and do the same thing to the next person. I might do 72 inches. I might do male. I might say that they're 55. I might say that they are African American. Um, these can be 2 words. It might be better to not make them 2 words, so it might have been better to put the underscore in here, but since these are actual data values, you can actually keep them as 2 words. And then I type all those in, and then all I gotta do is export it, right? Export it. Where is my export? This is under me. Supposed to be an export here or download. So I haven't saved it yet. I do need to save it. So this is the important thing. Make sure when you save it as something like this is just a demo. Make sure you have an underscore in these. So demo data set. I've now saved that, and then I can now download it. So I hadn't saved it, so I can download it. And then you want to download it as a CSV file because that's what R actually would like to have as CSV file. So you download that, and then you can upload that into RStudio. That's how we can create that. There's other ways to create data sets. There's a video that actually shows you that. Now that you have that data set, we can now read it into RStudio. We can do it by uploading the data sets in RStudio. There's this file called panes, plots, packages, and so forth. And I can actually upload things into here. I'm going to go ahead and create a new folder. Maybe I'll call that folder data. And then in this folder called data, I can then upload that file into it. So I can go ahead and say I would like to upload a file. And if you're on a server, you'd actually have an upload button. On a desktop, you actually have to come over here and you can just actually say you want to open that file up. And so you just open your file. So it's different things. And actually what you want to do here is you want to actually put that file into here on your desktop or wherever your data is, wherever your computer, on your computer, you put that in there and it would show up in here. So I'm actually going to go into my own data files and so I can show you how to open one up once it's there. But you would upload that and you can either upload it, like I said, if you're in RStudio, you would upload it. If you're on a server, you'd upload it. Otherwise, you would just make sure it was inside your structure, your file structure on your computer. So now that I've done that, and you can do that now, what you'd want to do is you'd want to click on the name of the file. So here's my file. I'd like to import the data set. And what you want to actually do, because you want to put this in here, is you want to actually copy this file URL. So we copy this file URL name, the Command C or whatever you want to use. And then I come over here and I would then read it in. So I'd insert an R chunk, put it in a return, insert an R chunk. If I come up here to this little C, say you want R chunk, and then you're going to give it a name. So I might call this one battery just because that's the name of the data set, but you don't have to. You can call it anything you want. But you wanted something that kind of relates to that data set because you're going to have lots of these different data sets. Then we put this arrow. So it's actually the less than symbol on this dash. This is actually means kind of, it's assigning everything to this name battery. So everything following this is going to be assigned to this. And then I'm going to read .csv. And then inside quotes, inside those parentheses, inside quotes, I'm going to paste in that URL I just copied. And if I run that, there it is now in my global environment. There is my data set that I just had it bring in. You can actually download things from websites as long as they're CSV files. Just make sure they're saved as CSV files and then put them on your website. So I happen to have things on my website. This is the URL for that website and the name on that website. So I again would run this and then Fav color is now in my global environment and I can now access that data set in this R&D file. Every R&D file, you would need to have these commands somewhere in them because you have to do this for every R&D file. That command needs to be in there. Usually you put in a setup file. You can also name, we have built-in packages that have data sets in them. So built-in package, there is the NHANES data set. And I can access it already because it's already been loaded. Or I can actually see it in my global environment by putting NHANES, calling it NHANES, and then writing it into your global environment. And now it's in your global environment, so you can see it over here. So those are 3 different ways that you can actually bring your data sets into RStudio, either from a file that you upload or have access to on your computer, or a file that you are getting from a website, or a file that you actually is built in from a package.